Good morning, welcome. Man, we are here in beautiful sunny Yokohama. As always, I'm here with my great buddy Glenn.
All right.
How's it going?
Good morning.
Man,
wonderful.
awesome.
We're having a great day.
Yeah.
Great week, actually.
Yeah, it was a beautiful week, wasn't it?
It was. Well, as we have promised about a week ago, I was supposed to brew. We were supposed actually to brew a coffee from Peru.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the bad weather, it's kind of the whole week was raining. So we're gonna had another week delay. So today is going to be interesting.
So you got some roasting done this week.
Oh yeah, I did.
Fantastic, man.
I
So
did.
tell us about this coffee.
Yeah, we're gonna be introducing to you. We are introducing to you today a coffee from Peru. It is actually my first time to acquire this coffee bean, and it interests me. It kind of clicked me into that adrenaline of interest because of the many wonderful reviews, the stars that it received, the cupping notes, the location, the weather itself, and the type of beans. It's kind of interests me. So I why not?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very interesting one. It's first for me, first for my brother Jim too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this one is just ranked at a specialty, right?
Yes, on a specialty ranking, and quite interesting because it comes from a very high place. It's about 1,900 meters. That's quite high.
Yeah.
That's quite high. And anyway, so introducing to you the beans from Peru. It's called the Tunki Inambaki. So the process,
That sounds African to me. Like that doesn't scream South America or Central America. That to me that just sounds very African.
It's true. It's the same thing. It's like I thought it's from Kenya or Ethiopia, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, so this is from the specialty ranking, and also it's the beans, the type of beans, the kind of variety of Arabica is called Caturra Typica. It means well, we have introduced to you previously from our past videos that we have introduced the Caturra. So it's the same beans actually, but it's basically crossbred with the origin is actually from Typica. The Typica or heirloom are basically originated from Yemen and in Ethiopia.
Oh wow.
That was brought to then later on crossbred into a bourbon that has become widely grown in number one in Brazil and then in Colombia.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, it's quite an interesting beans for me to do. So we're going to introduce to you three different processes. We'll be first doing the siphon. We'll find out what will be the cupping notes from the siphon.
Yeah.
Using also the mesh filter.
Using the mesh. You're not using the ceramic mesh like we did last week.
It's a different one because I wanted to try it more solid and there's not much of a travel thing to.
Yeah, I bought one of these this week, and I used it, but I did notice that the coffee does drain down a lot faster.
Really?
With this mesh versus the cloth and versus the other mesh that we had last week.
Okay, how was your course? The milling
course? It was
just medium.
Yeah, kind of medium to coarse.
Okay, medium to coarse. Okay. Next time maybe try medium a little finer.
Yeah, maybe about the same that I'm doing in my
right. Yeah.
Over. Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna be doing also the French press. Okay. French press.
Which I am now expecting that to be the mildest. So since we've had like the last 2 weeks that we have brewed in the French press, it's actually been the mildest of the three brews that we've done.
Yeah, it gives us a wonderful it gives us actually a very surprising result doing the French press.
Yeah, and I've been brewing the Brazil in a French press for my wife this week. She loved it.
And she likes it.
Yeah, she loves
wonderful.
it. She said it's like a bitter hot chocolate to her.
It's like, and when Jim came over here, the first thing he told me is that, hey, my wife Danica is liking the coffee.
Yeah.
I'm proud of her because she's taking coffee every morning. It's like, hey, get that. You know what? This is what's been
3
happening.
days in a row.
She always goes to like, tastes like coffee.
Yeah, she does.
And okay, the third one will be our very own, of course. We'll see.
The pour over.
The pour over. We'll find
with
out.
The gold mesh, of course.
As on a gold mesh,
Yes.
yeah. And today, it's again, another interesting coffee to present to you. And since it is from the Caturra Typica, I don't know what will be the outcome. Actually, I had that Caturra, I had the Typica, but this time the mix of a breed of a Caturra Typica, I mean, I don't really know. But now, secondly, the process. It's an interesting process actually in this coffee. And the process is they call it the fully washed. Oh, interesting. There's a wash, there is a natural, there is a honey, and there's all those three kinds. But this one is called the fully washed.
And so what is that? What is the difference between the washed and the fully washed?
That's a good question. Actually, it really mind-blowing because a fully washed, it takes a great deal of time also in the process. At the same time, there are some professionals who are saying in the coffee world that saying they do not actually want to practice much of a washed coffee because it kind of wastes a lot of water.
Okay.
And so it's the waste of water will just go out. And there's so many different issues on that one. But this is one of the interesting coffee to introduce to you because if it's fully washed, meaning to say right after the hand-picked harvest, they put it on a large tank and soak it in water.
Interesting.
And so what they do is they separate the ripe and they separate the unripe and all those unhealthy beans actually.
Okay.
So that means it divides into two. The ripes goes sink.
Okay.
Because of its dense. And then with the insect bites and the unripe ones, they just have to float and they have to separate.
Okay.
And that goes all down the drain. And that means all garbage.
Right. Or, if you're in the Philippines, they just make instant coffee out of that.
Yeah. And well, actually it's true. Some coffee big companies and they don't want the farmers to throw away that coffee because it's still a coffee beans. Sure. So what they do is that's what is actually the instant coffee.
Instant coffee, yep. It's basically garbage, guys.
So next time you take your instant coffee, you actually know where it's coming. No. So it's up to you. It's your call. Again, then after that, what they do is they put it on a like a press kind of in order to separate the pulp from the beans.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of press it in the machine.
Interesting.
And another thing is that it's not 100% sure that they will have to not 100% sure that the pulp will be taken out clean or 100% away from the bean.
Okay.
So what they do is they do it again in another kind of a wash. It's kind of a jet wash in order to make sure that the beans will be all by itself without all the pulps and without all those kind of honey type kind of sticky thing that stays on the bean.
Yeah, just they don't want any part of the cherry left on the bean.
Exactly. So that is why it's called fully washed.
Oh.
So it has been thoroughly washed. So it takes a great deal of time. It takes a great amount of water. That is why a lot of people are protesting it because of water and also the waste of water. They said that if they bring the water out from it, it's toxic, but it's not actually. What they do, what they do after that process is they reuse the water for watering the plants.
Oh, okay.
I mean that makes sense. I mean that's natural. I mean,
exactly.
There's no chemical in it, and it just came out from the coffee. So I don't know why it's such a big issue. But anyway, and another thing, there is also an important drying process in this. Again, since this is a fully washed, that means that every cupping notes, every tasting note that we get from the beans is exactly out from the beans itself.
Right, there's nothing left from the fruit. It's not like the honey process where it basically sits inside the fruit while it cures.
Yeah, or like the honey process and the natural process. that you have to wait until it's mature, until it ferments by itself.
Mm-hmm.
All this kind of process.
So there's nothing added from the fruit in this process.
Right, and so it's fully washed. That means thoroughly. And so again, after drying, it's interesting because of the drying process. There have been a lot of deliberation. Some people usually, literally, what they do is they lay it out on a big patio, on a large patio, and they rake it every hour.
Oh wow!
They rake it every hour to make sure that none will be wasted, none will be dried, that it equally be dried up with the proper sunlight.
Right.
And that's done for every hour.
Wow.
And and some, if the country is the humidity is quite high, some coffee farmers they'd rather put it on a drying machine.
Sure.
And another thing is that there are also some farms that instead of laying out on the patio, they put it on an elevated bed. They call it the elevated coffee bed. So that means it has a distance from the floor.
Okay. And
so what they do is lay it all down there, and every hour they turn it by the hand.
Oh wow.
Shh.
Yeah.
I mean, interesting. But that process also takes a lot of time. It's a great deal of time and manpower also at the same time.
Sure. Yeah.
So now understanding the process is gives you a little interest of what's in this coffee.
Right.
I mean, what kind of tasting notes it can deliver us?
Sure.
I mean, from 1,900, from harvesting all the way down to the process, it gives you and prepares you a different kind of tasting notes, and that's what makes it so interesting for me. Yeah. And so, of course, coffee will not be so good to taste even without roasting it.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely don't want to grind the green beans and brew that.
It was actually some people they do. They said it's most of the women out there. They said it's like they call it the green coffee.
Yeah.
So they said it's good for natural detox. It's good for your health. And
I can't imagine it being good for the palate.
I'm a daring person, but this is the only one thing that I probably would not try to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, coffee has to be roasted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
we can probably.
I mean, otherwise, what are we doing with our lives?
Exactly. It's like, hey guys, next show will be bringing you brewing the green coffee. Like,
I mean, it might not be bad to try it once.
But not on the live.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. Let us know in the comments if you want us to try that.
Sure. Okay. First off, we're gonna be introducing you. We're gonna be starting out from.
We're gonna be starting with the siphon.
With the siphon.
Nice.
And I have already heated the water. Okay. Because if you are using gas, that's fine. Let's put a warm water in there or a cold water in there. But I prefer
heat up a lot faster.
Yeah, to make a lot faster, to heat it up a lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to lose a lot. I mean, you're going to use a lot of alcohol if you're using the alcohol burner,
right? That's
to
true.
Try to heat the water from room temperature.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a lot easier to have preheated water.
Yeah. So today, we're going to be brewing 30 grams of medium ground of coffee. 30 grams. Some coffee aficionados and some baristas, they do from 30 grams to 500 ml of water.
Wow.
Like, wow, that may be a little light. I don't know. I want to try that next. But today we're going to be doing, since it's about 30 grams, what I'm going to do is I have poured in about 380 grams or 380 ml of water, close to 400. That's about 2 cups of 2 cups of the size of a regular coffee.
Right.
When I say it's not the old style is about 120 in the old, the ancient or the antique coffee cup. Right now it's about 180 grams to 200. So I'm
Yeah, last time we did 25 grams to about 300 ml of water.
Right, 300 ml of water.
Yeah.
So yeah. So today, okay. So this is about it, and
light her up.
my water is about 85 degrees centigrade. 80, and now it's yeah. Okay, so while we're doing this, make sure that you make sure that your ground coffee is from medium to light to fine. Okay, a little less to the medium, and that will give you a very nice brewing time of your siphon.
Yeah, because I did mine a little like a medium coarse grind.
Yeah.
And with this same setup, it just really went through fast. I mean, it was still good.
Yeah.
The coffee was still good.
Right.
Still had a lot of flavor, a lot of body. But it just it didn't seem to really extract for a long period of time.
I see.
You know, it just kind of went down.
Went down, yeah.
Yeah.
And while we're waiting for this one, we're going to warm up our French press.
Nice.
Okay. We're gonna be doing the same in simultaneous. Okay.
Do we want to go ahead and do the pour over at the same time? I mean, everyone's seen us do all these brew methods. You know, if we could brew them all at the same time, we can get to tasting them faster.
All right. Yeah.
And that's what's important.
Can you warm up for me?
I can. Yes, sir.
There you go.
I got this, bro.
All right.
I got this. Mostly.
So again, you know, it's about 30 seconds to warm up your French press. Okay. And on the French press, I'll be doing also 30 grams.
Okay.
Okay. So I have 30 grams.
And that's a medium coarse.
No,
right?
that is actually a very coarse.
Oh, it's a coarse.
Of course,
grind.
yeah.
Okay.
Or coarse. It's close to a not a bit too close to a rock salt.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. But not too rocky salt.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so on my Kalita grinder, I have it on the number 8 actually.
And that goes up to 10, right?
Right. It goes up to 10. So that's what I prefer. Okay. So we have the 30. Okay. And just shake it mildly. Okay. And then, while waiting, okay, start brewing or start pouring in your water slowly in a circular motion. Okay. Filling it up like about 1/4 of your desired maximum level of water, and set your time for 1 minute to
hand me those coffee grounds there.
Oh yeah,
yes sir.
There
We're doing how many grams is this?
That is also 30 grams.
30 grams to about 500 ml.
For about
about 500.
Yeah.
Ish. May I have a spatula thingy?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So if you have a bamboo paddle.
Paddle. That's what it's called.
Then paddle. Then that'll be good. It's not for survival.
No. And it's also not for like paddling a naughty child. Yes.
Okay, we have about 10 seconds left before we start pouring in again. Yeah. Okay. And we have 4. And time. Okay. Now, after a minute, you will see this is the nice outcome, and start pouring in again until your desired level of water or a cup of water in it. Okay. Wow, this looks good.
Yeah.
And then
that's releasing a lot of nice.
Set for another extra 4 minutes. Okay. 4 minutes to wait.
Still not bubbling on
Wow.
the siphon. Wow.
Yeah, it's true. I wonder why. Since it's an alcohol, it's the
Looks like you've got plenty
alcohol
of alcohol.
burner does not really. It's not really that stronger than the gas or a burner or an LPG burner. That's, I'm planning to get one myself.
The propane?
Yeah, the propane thing. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice if we could get a couple of the halogen beam
Yeah, the halogen
heaters.
beam.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
But that's a little.
A little on the pricey side, but I think eventually we'll have a couple of those for the channel.
Yep.
Make things go a lot faster.
Yeah. Wow.
There is a distinct honey smell coming from this as
Very
it brews.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
do.
like very,
From-
very
from-
distinct
from
honey.
this- oh.
It's coming from one of these two. It just I started smelling it
This
as these are brewing. Yeah, I mean there is a very distinct note of honey coming off of that.
Yeah. And now our water starts into a boil. Okay. So let's have it more on a boiling. Yeah, go.
There
Again,
we go.
it's not because it's boiling. It's not because it reached the highest peak of a boiling point, but because it's all pressure in there.
Yeah, basically the shape of the
Right.
container.
They call it the chamber, the lower chamber, the upper chamber, or they call it the bulb too.
The bulb.
Bulb. Okay, so we're about ready now.
Man, there is a very strong honey smell coming off of that.
Wow. Look at that.
Your filter is floating, Glenn.
Oh no. Well, we have to
You're gonna have to reset that
replay
somehow.
and reset.
Wow, interesting.
Wow, interesting. Why is it?
It didn't come unlocked. It looks like the O-ring released.
Really?
Yeah, the rubber released from the metal over there. How?
Oh.
I mean, technical difficulties, friends.
Technical difficulties. Okay.
Gomen
Well,
nasai.
I may have to get my new one.
Maybe the ceramic filter.
I should have used it from the beginning. But anyway,
I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this flame.
it's not of a big deal because since we are already brewing some coffee, this is not new. Don't worry, I already washed it. We already used this last week.
You know, Glenn, I ordered one of those off Amazon JP.
Yeah, this one here.
It's shipping from China. Do we have something I can put this on?
Make sure you don't have any COVID in there.
Right?
Wow, that's
This looks very
surprising.
light.
It looks very light,
It's a very light looking coffee. Yeah.
but it's got 300 grams of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a very distinct honey scent to that.
Amazing.
I get the feeling it's going to be a sweeter
Hmm.
coffee.
Wow, interesting, Jim. That's interesting. Maybe you can start pouring it into our cup. What do you say?
Hi. These are already pre-warmed.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. Now I'm gonna be using another mesh with a ceramic at the bottom.
I can't wait till mine comes in. That's
This
such
one
a
is
nice
really
one.
nice, actually. It's
Yeah.
been tested and very promising, actually. The result. Okay. So we're gonna do a replay of our. There we go. So now the timer is finished,
And that's for the siphon.
and that is for the siphon.
I mean, not the siphon. That's for the.
I mean, for the French press.
I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
sorry. So we have to press it gently, okay, all the way down,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you do it. And so voila, your coffee is ready.
Any hot water over there? I can come out.
Yeah.
Here.
There's a hot water over here too.
I'll just use that. Yeah. Just pour straight from there.
Yep.
I'll warm up another cup for our live studio audience.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh, so sweet of you, my brother Jim. Thank you so much. Yeah. We have our multiple live audience over here, so it's my only wife.
Multiple. What?
It's a kind of a prophetic gesture. Like, we'll be on the studio.
Yeah, have a nice, huge studio audience someday.
Isn't that cute? All right.
This is very interesting how light it is.
It looks like, it looks. Wow. Wow. So now we already have the hand pour or the pour over result of a coffee. Okay. And this is for our studio live audience. A hand pour. We'll find out what. Okay. And you can also pour in.
Oh man, we're already ready for the French press. Nice. And this is going to be pretty quick too.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're doing it right this time.
Well, I mean, it's not like you did it wrong last time. The filter decided to go wonky.
Right. Yeah.
Pardon me, sir.
It's sorry. Okay. It's we're still okay because it didn't happen when I put the coffee in.
Yeah.
I was supposed to put coffee first. Okay, so put your ground coffee in there, about 30 grams, and then try to submerge all the coffee grounds and brisk a little.
I'm gonna come over here.
Sure.
1 second, sir.
Brisk gently. Okay.
Man, that looks beautiful.
And start your timer as soon as it gets in. As soon as you put your coffee in there, start your timer for a minute. Okay. A minute or 55 seconds.
Right.
Okay.
And that'll be kind of depending on the fullness of the body you want.
Yeah.
That was a question, not a comment, but evidently it could have been a comment because I was right.
There you go.
Man.
Wow.
Behind you, sir.
Looking good.
We work well together, Glenn. I feel like we could open up a coffee shop.
We should. We have to have a big counter too at the same time.
Liking that.
Yep.
Also, guys, we've got a photographer in the studio today too.
So we're making great progress. It's like we got live audience, we got photographers and stuff like that, and wow. Oh, we need to do a lot of earnings.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 minute has passed, and before it pours in down to the bulb. Okay.
Man, that just looks beautiful. The head on that is just it's looking delicious. I'm feeling like the siphon's gonna be the way to go on this.
I think so too, huh? Isn't that kind of surprises me? I am interested in this.
Pardon me, sir.
Sure, no problem.
Just getting your heated cup ready.
Go.
All right.
Wow.
Man.
Okay, so maybe we should, while we're waiting for the siphon to
sit down and start drinking some of these coffees.
Yeah. Let's find out the tasting notes.
Yeah.
Both the press and the hand pour or hand over.
Yeah, pour over.
Pour over.
Hand over. Hand over as in hand over the coffee, sir. Oh man.
All right.
Yeah, that other filter would have already been drained through.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go first for the pour over.
Me too.
I'm gonna put the cupping notes here up on the screen.
Put the cupping notes in there. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Wow. Up front, I can smell the apple. I can smell the apple up front. Interesting because it says that it has a plum, pomegranates, cocoa. It's a smooth mouthfeel.
It is a very smooth mouthfeel. To me, I don't know why. There's like the aftertaste is a little nutty.
Really,
just the way it hits my palate is
So you're getting
even
like
though that's not
nut flavor.
Yeah,
nutty.
even though that's not like in the cupping notes.
Okay, how about the acidity of this?
It's very light.
Is it really? Wow. Yeah.
For me, it's there. It's
It's
more,
there.
It's very pleasant.
Yeah.
I definitely do get that red, like the acidity is like the red apple flavor is the type of acidity
Right.
that you're
That's
getting.
wonderful.
It's not like the
Yes.
not like the acidity you get from a lemon or a green apple.
That's a wonderful
It's-
description.
It's like
Yeah.
when you bite into a ripe red apple, it's that kind of acidity that hits your tongue. It's,
That's good.
and it's beautiful. I mean,
Very good.
That is a
Very good. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see any notes of a pomegranates actually in this one.
No,
not
not
at all.
really.
From
Not really.
from the hand pour.
Mhm.
From the pour over.
I can see maybe the sweetness that I'm smelling could be like some of the plum coming out.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Or the cocoa.
Cocoa. Yeah.
Cocoa, whatever the difference is. We say cocoa in the
Yeah. Cocoa or cocoa. It's the same. Yes. Okay. I find it like a milder and a bright acidity from here. Which you said that the acidity is not really that sharp for you.
Yeah.
On this one, but I kind of find it.
That's the like for me. That's what stands out the most though. Out of anything of this is the acidity, but it's not like the Brazil had that really bright acidity that was just up front in your face.
Right.
This is still the acidity is probably the strongest flavor. I could say, but it's not very like it's not in your face. It's not strong.
Right.
It's just it's very pleasant.
Yeah. And interesting because we did a 30 grams for a small cup of coffee size. Actually, about 370 actually, to be exact. But it gives us a lighter color.
Yeah, very light.
But somehow the taste does not really blend on the color itself.
Right.
Yeah,
I would
lighter
expect it
color,
to be. I would expect it to be a lot lighter, a lot less flavor to it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that's very pleasant. It is really like biting into a red apple. I mean, that's really the best thing that I could compare it to as far as the way the flavors hit you.
Yeah. And so, let's try it.
This has a very sweet aroma, and I definitely smell that red apple.
Yeah, man. Good.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely. It is. It has a very sweet note in here.
Oh. Very different.
Really?
Very different. That acidity.
I like your.
I mean, it's such a surprise, man. I mean, it really does shock
I thought you burned your
No,
tongue.
no, I did not. The flavor difference in these two coffees is night and day.
I'm having goosebumps, man. I'm so excited to take.
I'm getting so much more of the plum, pomegranate in this. A lot less of the acidity, a lot less of that red apple taste. Which is funny because here you get the red apple taste and more of the smell of the plum. Here you're getting the flavor of the plum and pomegranate with the smell of the red apple.
This is more, I would say, if you get this Peru, the Inambaki, well, I would probably say do it on the press.
I'm gonna reserve.
I'm sure.
My final thoughts until we get this siphon.
That's true. Same here.
Yeah, because I mean, last week we were really surprised to find that we both liked the siphon for the Brazil versus the pour over, which the pour over has been our favored brewing method for everything else we've done.
Yeah, true. And which is actually the best way of brewing your coffee. Actually, the Katura actually gives you a very lemony taste. That is why it's mixed with the Typica this time, because the Typica has a note of a mocha and chocolatey. So that is why the professionals actually cupping notes for this has a cocoa notes in there. It's got a fruity flavor in it, and because of that, Typica. But the lemony and the strong acidity taste of it, that basically blends with the sweetness that doesn't really hate you, the coffee.
No.
That doesn't really, you hate the coffee, but it's like, it gives you a kind of an interest. It's like, wow, that is something different.
This is, I mean...
This is solid.
This is just, I mean, it's just a beautiful tasting coffee. It's so complex.
Absolutely.
And
this is pomegranate fruit.
You can see why it got such high ratings, even just being on the specialty level.
Exactly.
It is very complex.
Yeah.
It's very pleasant to drink. Man, just nothing really hits you. It's not like, again, I'm going to compare it to the Brazil that we did last week. It's not like that where with certain brew methods the acidity just really hit you strong. It's just very smooth.
It is.
And very balanced.
Okay. Wow. So I think Jim is somewhat satisfied for now. Until we'll find out.
Between the hand pour and the French press, I would go with the French press.
I would go for the press. I would go for the press.
Yeah.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
And as always, we're gonna taste them as they cool down, and that may change my mind.
That's true. That's true.
It may be that as this cools, as the pour over cools, it becomes a little bolder, or some of the other flavor notes stand out.
It might.
But just as a nice, fresh from the pot, 100%, I would go with the
French press.
Yeah, with the French press.
Yeah. All right. So let me pour in your cup. So we have already warmed our cup. So pouring in.
Woohoo! Getting fancy.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Because we got a real nice, fancy looking.
We got these fancy glasses.
Bulby looking. Okay, for our guest. Oh man, this is okay. Hold on, I'm so excited. Oh, you got a fruity notes in here,
but it's not like the apple. It's very sweet.
Like absolutely not an apple.
It's definitely the sweeter fruity notes, not like the fresher fruity notes. If that makes any sense.
Probably about. You know what a stone fruit is? I don't know. Have you ever seen that in the Philippines? We don't have that in the Philippines. It's basically imported from different countries that we see, and it's quite expensive to stone fruit. It's got a reddish, and it's got kind of a sweet and sour type of taste.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had one.
Interesting aroma.
Oh wow. That acidity does hit you.
There you go. Now
the acidity hits you, but the immediate flavor is more on the cocoa side.
Exactly. Yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah. Right.
But this definitely brings out the bolder flavors.
Right. Yeah. The bolder flavor.
Darker, bolder flavors.
Well, many of the Japanese actually loves their coffee high in
acidity
with a sharp acidity.
Right.
Taste,
Yeah.
Right. So
which means these two would fall off for the Japanese palate. They would not enjoy that.
They would probably enjoy this.
This definitely the acidity hits you first.
Yeah, you would simply say this is a Katura because Katura has a very strong impression. It's very strong character of a high in acidity, a strong in acidity. Kind of others they call it the lemon. The lemon of the coffee.
Yeah, you really do lose the sweeter fruity notes of the coffee that the French press brings out. You get that really bright acidity, and then you get the cocoa and the darker notes.
Yeah.
With the siphon. That's wow.
I kind of tasting also the sensing also the earthy flavor. What's the earthy flavor? It's kind of a
and that might be where my palate was saying like kind of nutty. Like earthy is a lot of times like you could say nut, or like a mushroom,
right?
Exactly.
Kind
of fungal. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound appetizing, but like a fungal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The way I look at it, it's like coming from a trunk of a tree. Oh golly.
Okay, so my verdict.
All three.
French press is my favorite out of the three.
French press.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Because I feel like it blends all the flavors like in a balanced way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this gives you a lot of the acidity, it gives you a lot of the darker notes as well, like the cocoa. And there's not a whole lot of that fruitiness in the middle.
Right. Yeah.
It has a very long, sharp aftertaste.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
while we are expecting like a more bolder taste on the French press, but it basically gives you a smooth mouthfeel in the last of your palate, the end of your palate.
As this sets, like after it's been a while since I've taken a drink, and it does have a very long aftertaste. As that sets, I really do get as I breathe out, I can taste on the top of my palate more of the like the plum and the pomegranate. But you don't get that as you're drinking it.
Yeah.
It's more of an aftertaste. It's more like but it's strong. That aftertaste is actually really strong, and really long.
This is pretty obvious that if a person is taking the Caturra or taking this kind of coffee, they will just simply say it's a Caturra beans because of its pretty bold lemon character. But again, you can also have that kind of a fruity, bitter cocoa notes on the side of your palate, and interesting actually to some. Again, it depends on your preferences. We're just showing you what are the different characters and 3 different kinds of brewing method actually.
The pour over doesn't seem to change as it cools.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of at a warm. It's kind of warm now. Yeah, it's kind of warm now. It's not quite cold, but it really still tastes. It tastes the same.
I would say that this is the latest drink.
I could see like again, and I say this probably every week about one of the brews, but I can see someone who really likes tea. Moving over
absolutely.
to this is a black coffee. Do the
absolutely,
brew in a pour over.
Right.
Which, I mean, this really blows my mind. Just comparing the last 2 times we've done a French press, where the pour over has been a bolder coffee, and the French press has been less bold. Well, this time the French press surprised me, and it seems to have a lot more body and a lot more flavor.
You know what? I'm after drinking the French press, and I mean the pour over and the siphon. I'm kind of chasing it with my.
Oh my gosh!
With my French press.
This. What your friend was drinking? I think the Starmaya, and said he wanted to drink it cold because it was like a juice.
Like a juice.
100%. This is like a juice. Even as it seems like this coffee is going to be a very solid coffee from hot to cold, because the flavor profile is not changing, at least in the first 2 brews. Right. The flavor profile is the same, but man, this this French press, it is very fruity.
Yes,
it's very much like a juice.
Right. Again, we did 30 grams of ground coffee for the French press.
It's just amazing.
And it doesn't matter if you have like about 400 ml of water. It's not gonna hurt you because it's just only about little. Or if you kind of don't like how it went out, maybe do a 350 ml or through a 360 maybe. But for me, for 400, doing this for 300, it's perfectly still okay. Yeah. I mean, we did 400 actually.
Yeah, with the siphon. Or
no, I mean the press.
This one.
The press.
I found it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, some of you who have no French press yet, maybe you have to acquire one for you.
Yeah,
it's a good thing you have one now.
You can get one from IKEA for $10, guys.
IKEA for $10.
I'm sure you can get them on Amazon for cheaper.
Yep, that's true.
And you can get one by tomorrow if you're in the States. Amazon Prime, guys.
Yeah, there we go. And of course, all 3 different methods can bring you the different characters of coffee. So again, it depends on you.
I do not like the siphon. I really don't.
I see.
It's too strong of an acidity.
Right. Yeah.
It's way too sharp. This is not something I could see myself
enjoying. Yeah.
Enjoying very much.
Even when it gets colder.
Yeah.
It's more sharper now.
That's something I think as it cools, I think all 3 of them are probably giving off more of the acidity.
Yeah.
Because I did start to notice a little more on here, but the fruitiness of the French press,
very solid.
It's so strong. I mean, this is good. This is almost like drinking, like a juice or even a wine.
Wine.
like a really
rosé,
like a fruity,
a rosé medium body. Okay, rosé for me.
It's just so fruity.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, once again, because, like we found with the Columbia has a lot of fruity notes.
Right, yeah.
And it's also washed.
Yeah, it's washed.
You know, and what I would expect is like the natural or the honey processing would give you more of the fruity notes because you're leaving the outer part of the cherry on there for longer.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas that doesn't really seem to be the case.
So now that is why it's so interesting, because the tasting notes and the character of its coffee, we're only getting it from the beans itself. Mm-hmm. It's not from the pulp, it's not from the cherry, it's also been fully washed. I mean, this is interesting. I was like, wow, that's amazing. I mean, I wonder if they do this in a natural process. I wonder what would be the cupping notes. It will absolutely change its character. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow,
interesting, huh?
Yeah. So definitively for me, the French press is the way to go. For my palate, I would say you get the most, like the fullest of all the flavors of the cupping notes across the board out of the French press. You see with the pour over and with the siphon, the acidity kind of outshines the rest of the flavors.
Wonderful, yeah. For some of you who are still working out to acquire a French press for yourself, to find out, number one is you have to get the beans for yourself too.
Yeah, that's the most important part, because you can't really make coffee without coffee beans.
And you cannot just simply go out there and shop just like, can I have a Peru? Hey, look, dealing with the specialty coffee, you have to also understand which farm did it come from or has been grown. Yeah. Secondly, their process. You need to find out. The shop that you can get in there is like, yesterday, we were at one of the famous coffee shops. We were just kind of grilling around, and I don't want to mention the name though, but
okay.
We are falling in line, and I said, I was telling my wife, I wonder if some people would see me like, oh, Glenn is in line with buying a coffee from the... No, I'm not gonna buy a coffee. I'm just gonna get a strawberry shake, okay?
There you go.
Like, I was kind of hiding myself, and I'm kind of checking out on the different array of their displays of coffee. Mm-hmm. It's funny because they just say peach, let's say Colombia peach sweet, something like that. I was like, my wife was like, is that real? Mm-hmm. Is that true? Yeah, it could be. I mean, but doesn't say where it came from. How's the process.
That's the one thing I really like about what you do with Coffee Haven is all you have on your label is where the coffee came from,
right?
The country, the farm, and the process, how the beans have been processed.
Exactly, very important.
When you look at other websites, people who roast their own coffee and they claim it's specialty or whatever, they have their Christmas blend and their autumn blend, and it's blend this and blend morning blend, breakfast blend, and they don't tell you what's in there. They just call it this blend. Yeah. And really what you are probably getting from 90% of these places is just a very crappy commercial, maybe premium, maybe a premium coffee. But you don't know what's in it.
Exactly.
I mean, with Coffee Haven, you're getting on the label exactly what's in there. Right. What bean it is, the roast you've done to it. And by far, this is, I don't want to toot your horn or toot our own horn, but Coffee Haven has the best coffee that I've ever had in my life.
Thank you. Yeah. We just want to simply bring you the best. We're not probably the best in the market right there because the competition of coffee is quite heavy out there, actually, especially those big companies and big corporations. I'm not talking about the people or the companies that's dealing with the commercial or premium coffee. I'm talking about some of the specialty coffee. I have also discovered some shop that sells so high with like $1,000 for almost $1,000 for 1 kilogram of coffee.
Wow.
In which they grow their own, and they have their own barista, they have their own growers, and they bought a huge chunk of land in Ethiopia and in Panama. Like, wow, these are new in the market, but they have that money,
Yeah.
So anyway,
but again, they haven't been rated, have they? I mean, they could probably say that, yeah, we're using the same beans as whoever, which is rated at a top specialty, but they haven't actually been rated at a specialty or top specialty. They just
exactly
give themselves that label and charge.
And some of it's true, and
it very well could be really good coffee.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt, but maybe some of you would ask, where do I get my raw beans? It's a good question, actually. I'm actually getting my beans in one of the famous dealer in Japan, actually. And this company only deals with specialty coffee, nothing else. They are very strict in choosing what kind of specialty coffee. If you go onto their website, you have to be approved. You have to wait for about a week or two in order to be approved if you apply to be a part of their site. They have to give you a background check. Are you a roaster? Are you a coffee taster? Are you an owner of a coffee shop? Surprisingly, I was approved. And again, is the number one dealer here in Japan. Actually, it deals nationwide, and I like the quality of their coffee because as soon as you get the raw beans from them, you can just go straight and put it on your roaster. And unlike other shops that you have to choose, you have to kind of keenly pick out some of the, there's a insect bites that you need to separate, and too much dust on it, and some stony, some garbage in there. Yeah, but it's a little bit costly compared to other
but you're paying for top quality.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they're, like you said, they're one of the most reputable dealers in Japan. So
yeah. Well, the name of the company is Wataru. So you can check it on your website, WATARU, Wataru, specialty coffee. Well, you cannot actually check the kind of beans that they have and the prices unless you are a member of it. So you will only have the background of their website. But again, that's where I get my coffee. That's where I get my beans. Yeah. By the way, if you're interested of acquiring some of the coffee that we've been sharing with you here today, you can send us email. You can make comments, and we'll make the most out of it. We'll do our best to bring it to you at your doorstep. Actually, yeah. We deal with 100 grams, 200 grams, 500 grams. It doesn't matter. We can send you also the list of the coffee that we have. Also, I have another interesting coffee that I have been much awaited. Finally. One of my most awaited coffee has finally came in last week, the month of May, as promised by the dealer. And you know what? It's a beans from Kenya. And as soon as they have announced it, I was roasting. Suddenly, I just kind of checked before they announced it. I was ahead of time a little bit, about a few minutes ahead of them before they announced it on the mail. If you remember, they announced it at 3 p.m. The new coffee will be coming in and it will be available for sale. So anyway, I just kind of check on it, and I was quite lucky to say that, man, it's like, whoa, there's already unavailable. And you know what I did? I quickly made an order of what I was really looking for. At the same day, at that night of the same day, all beans are gone.
Wow.
I was like, wow, you have to wait another year for the harvest.
Another year.
It's for the harvest again.
Wow.
I mean, it's not only from one farm. They have multiple number of choices, like this from from another farm, from another farm, from another farm. You can choose from, but all of them are gone.
Wow.
And I was so blessed to have one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's why I'm going to present to you next week.
Nice.
Interesting.
Were you able to roast that this week?
Sure.
Did you roast that this week?
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's in there.
Nice.
As soon as it gets in here at my doorstep, I'll just kind of rip it open and roasted it. I mean, I got you right now.
Man, perfect.
I got you under my skin. But it's I don't know what kind of surprises it will bring us. Will be, you can make a request actually. We can do a nail, we can do a press, we can do a siphon, or we can do also the Chemex, yeah. And I can do also another form of hand pour, which is actually they call it the it's on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot. Sorry. It's it's a pour over, but what it does is it stays there for a moment. As soon as you put it on top of your decanter, it kind of drains a lot.
I've seen that.
Yeah. I'll get to you.
We'll think about it. You'll remember it in a minute. Yeah.
But again, 300 grams or 400 ml of water.
30 grams.
Oh, I mean, sorry.
300 grams. That's going to be some strong coffee, guys.
For 400 ml?
400 ml? Guys, we're doing a 1-to-1 ratio coffee to water.
You'll be up the whole week.
Yes, sir. This will give you a kick in your pants. Guaranteed.
And we're telling that to you so you have enough time to wait for us until next week. No, but actually, anyway.
They're just going to be sitting at their computer all week, wide awake, hitting refresh on their browser. Just refresh.
Is that correct? 30 grams of your coarse mill, coarse ground coffee for your French press, and the 400 ml of water. Again, you can do a little over of your 400. It's up to you. And then the temperature of your water will be from 85 degrees centigrade. And that'll be perfect. And
this definitely is a perfect brew for this coffee.
So when it get warmer, is it cold? So what's in up now?
It's still very, very much the same. It does tend to get a little more acidic, but it's not very strong.
Yeah, but
it's still very fruity.
But the acidity is kind of light for me.
Yeah.
Because of it, that strong fruity notes at the back, and the aftertaste is you can get a cocoa. And that's what I get.
Yeah.
As soon as it gets cold.
Yeah.
Okay?
Same. Yeah.
So again,
it hasn't changed much. Just a little bit more of the acidity, a little stronger acidity as it cools down. Other than that, the flavor is pretty much consistent. Yeah.
So maybe some of you would say, "Excuse me, so can I put a little sugar when it gets cold?"
Don't add anything to this coffee.
I mean, well, it depends on you, okay? Whatever fits your palate is fine. But listen to my brother Jim. It's true. Otherwise, you're just messing up with the whole tasting.
I mean, I used to drink coffee just with cream. Way back, I used to drink it with sugar and cream. Then I started cutting sugar out, and I replaced it with honey.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I drank my coffee, honey and cream, for the longest time. And then I got to a point where I was doing a diet where I wasn't allowed to have honey. And so I was just taking the coffee with cream.
Okay.
And so that's how I got to like it. It wasn't until I met you that I really started drinking coffee straight black.
Right.
Because all I'd had up until then was commercial coffee.
Right.
You're really doing yourself and your palate a disservice by adding cream or sugar to a specialty, especially your top coffee, because you're robbing yourself of enjoying the flavor of the coffee itself.
Right.
I mean, we say this almost every week. Commercial coffee, yes, you almost have to add sugar, cream, flavor to it because a commercial coffee is nothing but that bitter, roasted, dark flavor. With a specialty coffee, there is so much more to enjoy.
Right. There's so much more to enjoy. There's so much more to discuss. That's what makes a conversation fruitful. Because both of you both of you have different palates, and both of you can notice all the different characters of the coffee. It's interesting.
If we could get my wife here to give us a third perspective. I mean, we don't actually need her here because what she would say, tastes like coffee.
Mentioning his wife, I kind of already hearing her.
I just know she just sits there while we're drinking coffee and just rolls her eyes as far as she can in the back of her head. She's like, "These guys are crazy. They're tasting plum and apple, and it tastes like coffee."
I'm not gonna. I don't have enough time to listen to yakking.
Yeah.
Like it tastes like coffee. That's it.
I ask her every week, "Hey, did you watch it?"
Well,
I mean, in her defense, we do an hour to an hour and a half of talking about coffee, so you really got to be interested.
Yeah.
Our studio audience just grew.
Yes, go to another 10 numbers of it. Yeah. But you know what? Really, well, this all three methods. Again, it describes the very. It's kind of a very individual coffee personality. Every bean plays a very important role of the whole thing. So, and how it's being processed. That is why in the process it has to be carefully done and dried with much attention and much care of it in order to bring out the best of the coffee.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. That's why
I mean, you really do taste it.
Right. Yeah. And you can see that the coffee they're dealing from harvest to the process. They put a lot of time. They put a lot of labor in there. They put a lot of wow, man. I mean, they make sure that you get the right beans. You get the right tasting notes in your palate.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you just. They've done such a superb job with this coffee.
I'm so surprised with your reaction.
I mean, this really did surprise me, being only a specialty coffee.
Yeah.
I would think this would be at least in the top specialty ranking. It's just amazing. It's that good. It's that complex.
One factor is because the elevation. The elevation is from 1,900 meters. That's quite high. I mean. By the way, where they grow the coffee, it's close to Bolivia. That's about 2,000 to almost 3,000 elevation in there, and man, perfect, just so perfect for growing coffee. Yeah. I would probably say that if you are new if you want to introduce yourself to black coffee, you can probably. Having this Peru, do it on a pour over, and it'll probably satisfy you.
I would even say doing the French press, because the French press,
you
get so much more of that fruity, the fruity notes from the coffee. But both, I mean, this was like almost like an apple tea.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
because you really did get hit with that red apple acidity.
Yeah,
and still very sweet. But not as full-bodied, whereas the French press really brought out all of the flavors of the coffee. It really did.
Yes, exactly. And the as soon as it get cold from the siphon, the sharp acidity is still present, and you can only get the
let me taste it as it's now cold. I drank mine really fast because I wasn't enjoying it. And I just wanted to be done, but I did not give it a chance to cool off.
Absolutely right for the hand pour, just like a tea.
Yeah.
Very mild, very light. Less acidity on it.
It is so acidic coming from the siphon.
Right.
I mean, just
sharp.
Very, very sharp acidity.
Yeah. But can you sense the kind of a honey plum
a little bit, but it's in the aftertaste. It's all like all the other flavors for me are in the aftertaste for the siphon. You just get hit so hard with that sharp acidity as you're drinking it. For me it's very hard to enjoy.
Yeah. Well, don't be alarmed if you get that kind of notes that did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? Or well, every coffee has the acidity notes. So, but it balances because of the process and because of the other tasting notes that's in the coffee. And where do they get all these notes in the coffee? Or do they putting any fertilizer or any chemicals in it or any flavor tree or whatever that is? No, actually, absolutely not. That's what makes it so interesting of brewing your coffee and also roasting your coffee. After all, whatever best coffee that you have out there, if it's not roasted right, you will not get it right.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So I'm not a professional roaster, but I'm learning a lot of my roasting.
He's a professional roaster. I have to tell him every week.
Yeah, and if I get another extra budget, I'd like to buy a new roaster myself because my roaster is just really serving me more than 2 years now. And sometimes it's knocking on my door. I need to be replaced.
It wants to retire.
Yeah, it wants to retire.
Oh man.
But I roast a lot, like 3 times a week. Wow, man.
Yeah.
So I need to get a new one.
Yeah.
Actually, I did another testing. I did do a light roast on this one here. I'm not telling my brother Jim yet. So.
I mean, I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah, that's now that we know that this is the medium.
Right.
By the way, it's on a medium roast, okay?
Yeah.
A medium roast on a high heat.
High heat, medium.
Yeah, a high temperature. It's about 170 degrees centigrade in the maximum. Yeah.
So I'm thinking about the light roast because in the past most of the light roasts that we've had have been very bright acidity. Like the acidity has been very bright. So now I'm really curious as to what the body is going to be like on this particular one, because with the French press the acidity was perfect. The rest of the flavors were perfect, but with these other two, the acidity was a little bit more upfront. So I would be scared to do a light roast in the siphon. I feel like it would just be like biting into a lemon, But who knows? I mean, we'll have to taste that off the air, guys, and if we enjoy it, we can revisit that one, and let you guys know, because some people do enjoy a lighter roast coffee.
Exactly, yeah. And so you can order this from us anytime. I have a lot of available right now. I have about 5 kilograms that came in, so avail while supply lasts.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're talking about small batch roasting here, guys.
This is just for my testing, so I don't know if the beans will be available in 2 or another month to say, but anyway, we'll find out.
But guys, I mean, rest assured, it is roasted to perfection. I mean,
thank you. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite coffees that we've
had.
I
surprising.
I'm just gonna put that down. Yeah. The
I
French
can tell
press.
it actually from his reaction. I have never seen him react this way.
I was so shocked by the flavor. I mean, you saw me. You thought I burned my tongue. I was so shocked by the flavor of this coffee coming out of the French press. It is one of the most beautiful coffees I've ever tasted.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 100%.
I mean, there's been twice that surprises me, Jim, when we presented to you the Colombia. At first I can see that he was really that interested when he had that at first. But when we presented it changes.
Well, I've been brewing it myself at home. Even the same Colombia, I've been brewing it myself, but with the paper filter.
Right.
So I'm losing a lot of those natural oils.
Right. That's why,
and so when we do it with the mesh filter, it is really a stark difference.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, again, if you have that paper filter with you, if you want your coffee less body, you can use the paper filter. Exactly. It's not a problem. But
you're still gonna get a lot of flavor out of it. I mean, I like I said, I've been enjoying these coffees for over a year with the paper filter pour over, and I still enjoy them just as much. They're very full bodied. It's just once I switched over to the mesh, you really start getting a lot more of those flavors that the paper filters out.
So it's just that if you want a different tasting notes for in one morning or that certain day, you can use a paper filter. You can exchange. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And again, I prefer to use the gold mesh. It's okay if you have the stainless.
I have the stainless, and I don't think there's like a huge flavor difference between the two. It's just the gold mesh does help keep it a more consistent temperature as you're brewing it and as it's extracting.
And the bloom basically is more when it extracts, it makes sure that all parts of the coffee are pretty warm up. That's the only thing.
It's getting heated evenly.
Right.
At a more consistent temperature.
Right.
Yeah.
And so again, we did the right brewing on our siphon.
It just wasn't. That's not
on
for
a
me.
medium. I wonder if we do it a little bit more fine, it will probably bring us more acid.
Probably.
Or lemony taste.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I think I did it perfectly well. So it's
I think this is just not
Right.
the best brew method for me for this coffee. I mean, I've already established that the French press is I mean, it's amazing. It really is.
It's a good thing that you bought one for yourself.
I know,
now
right?
You can do it now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
And Jim also, I'm sure that he's going to buy this today.
Absolutely.
I mean, not the press,
absolutely.
the beans.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna be taking home some Peru. Yes, because not only do I love it, I think my wife would really enjoy
with the press.
Yeah, with the French press.
Wow.
100%, yeah.
Wow. Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Man. Yeah. And so we were talking about, if you guys need to get a hold of us, two guys coffee, KOFI at gmail.com, which is it's the email used for our YouTube channel. Also, if you look up Coffee Haven Roasters on Facebook.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
And we're still working on the Coffee Haven website.
Yes.
Which will be another way of getting hold of us. We're gonna have everything.
That's true.
Eventually, I mean, takes a little time and effort because we're doing everything ourselves.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, eventually we'll have all the coffee that's available up on there. We've been talking for a long time, and hopefully we can make it a reality to do the Introduction to Specialty Coffee course.
Yeah. And and my brother Jim also plans to extend our market and introducing it in the whole state.
I mean, it's
United States of America.
There's going to be a lot more readily available in the States within the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the States and you want to order the coffee, you'll be able to get it a lot faster.
Right, that's true. Yeah. So we're moving, we're progressing. We're on a low budget people thing, but you know what? But that's not what it is. We just want you to give you what you really deserve.
Mm-hmm.
It's your coffee because we just want you to get what you really deserve. That's it. That's it.
And you definitely deserve more than a cup of flavored commercial coffee.
Yeah. Everything has to be upgraded. Computers need upgraded. Your lifestyle will be upgraded too.
We say it almost every week. You're gonna pay more for the beans. You're gonna invest more time in brewing it yourself.
Right.
But in the long run, it's still gonna be very close to what you would pay if you were going to a coffee chain to get your favorite cafe latte or even whatever dark roast they have on hand. I'm trying my best not to name names.
Yeah.
It's so easy to bash bigger companies.
Right. But one thing for sure that you cannot always have milk on your coffee. I mean, right now, what I have found out, what I have discovered is that there is a milking company, not a milking company. I was like, what do you call that?
Dairy?
A dairy farm.
Okay.
That is producing and is developing a milk that will suit only for the coffee.
Interesting.
I mean, make it easier. Please use powdered cream.
No. God. Oh my God. Powdered.
It's like.
I mean.
That would probably cost you a lot. I mean, just
probably,
waiting for that to happen. I mean, that this is it's only good for your black cafe latte or your espresso and.
I don't know what they would do to make a milk that is made for coffee. That's that's interesting because for me, I like a heavy cream in my coffee.
Then
at the least, half and half. If you put coffee, I mean, if you put regular milk in a cup of coffee, I'm just gonna spit it out. I mean, I'll be honest.
That's true.
It's just like for me, it's not good. Because if I'm drinking a commercial coffee that doesn't have a great flavor to it, I want it to have a thickness to it, and that's why I prefer a heavy cream in my coffee. Yeah.
Well, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So again, another interesting segment.
Yeah.
Another interesting.
I'm so glad that we've started doing multiple brew methods.
Right.
It does really give you a feel for the best way to brew a certain bean, or the best way to brew it for your palate.
For your palate.
Once again, because some people, like you said, the Japanese like a more acidic coffee. This would probably be the perfect way to brew it for them. For me personally, it's going to be the French press.
Right. Which I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for 100%. my, maybe for my wife or people new to drinking coffee who, do the pour over. Yeah.
Pour over. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Pour over or hand pour is the same. Okay. Yeah. So again, just let us know what coffee that gives you an interest. We have coffee from coffee from Central America and South America, and also from Africa, and also from Oceania. So let us know. And you can order in different grams and whatever your preference is.
Right.
And we can deliver it to you with whole beans. I would strongly suggest that you go get yourself a hand grinder. Right.
Or if you can afford it, a nice grinder.
That's true.
Like
a smaller one.
If you have like a couple $5,000-$6,000 laying around, pick up one of those.
Or better yet, buy a kilogram of coffee. At least you don't have to order every time, like one-time shipping, and that will be a lot more reasonable to say. Yeah. Really. I mean, trust me. Spend like about $240 for a 1 kilogram. I mean, why not?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna last you a long time.
Right. It's gonna last you for a long time. It can stay in your in your pantry for 2 years. Yeah, room temperature.
Yeah,
that's
whole
fine.
beans.
Whole beans.
Roasted. Ground is gonna.
No, that's
probably what is like 6 months max.
6 months max.
Yeah.
And but if you want to stay a little longer, you put it on inside in your fridge, but on the vegetable area or vegetable compartment. Yeah. But as soon as you get the proper amount of your coffee, put it right back as soon as possible to avoid humidity and to avoid that.
And again, if people want to order the coffee from us, we can, you can tell us what method you're brewing, and we can grind it for you if you're gonna, order a smaller amount.
Right. Yeah. If you are using a press, we're gonna grind for you.
If you order like 200, 300, 400, 500 grams of coffee, you're gonna go through that in less than 6 months.
That's true. So you might as well want to ground.
We could, Right. Yeah, if you can't afford a grinder or can't find a grinder, we can.
It's only about
grind it for you.
$10 to $12, so you
for a good hand grinder.
For a good hand grinder, you can get like about 30 grams already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. It's from Hario. You can check it out.
Yeah. Also. And so next week we're doing the new Kenya.
The Kenya.
I'm excited. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, that's a big applause for me, and I felt like you know what I felt when I made that order. I felt like I have accomplished something great. Especially when I saw.
You know what? I felt the same thing when I drank this French press. I felt like you accomplished something great, bro. This.
My goodness.
I mean, this is one of my favorite coffees that you have on hand.
Oh well, man, I'm sorry they have goosebumps. It's don't get me wrong. I mean, this guy is so hard to please when it comes to palate, when it comes to cigar, when it comes to whiskey, and it comes to, we have to be like, that's why we blend perfectly.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I just can't see Jim moving.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Yeah. Give this video a like if you like it. Give it a dislike if you aren't happy with it.
Yeah.
Either way, engagement helps the channel grow, guys. And we will see you next Monday.
Yes, next Monday we'll see you. And hope you guys are looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Have a great day.
Have a great week.
Bye.